I think we are live. All right. Cool. What's going on? I think we're live. Looks like there's two. What's going on? All right. So I actually brought Bobby out today. I don't know if Bobby's gonna really last very long in this live because he's in a really deep shed. He is super deep. He's super blue. I usually don't take him out when he's this blue, which is kind of crazy. Woolsey3, hi, what's up? Oh, that's kind of interesting. There's like, I see all these comments up here, and there's just like a big delay down here on my laptop. Jesse's Reptiles, what's up? Oh, you know what? I need to switch to live chat. As a matter of fact, I was looking at one of my replays last week, and I was looking at the chat and just kind of like previewing the beginning of it, and I was skipping over questions, and I think it's because when I'm on top chat, I don't see all the questions over here in the chat, and it's like everyone's like, hey, you kept skipping my question, and I think it's because I had the wrong thing selected. You know, seriously, I think they need to take top chat and just delete it and get rid of it and just put live chat only so you see all the comments over here. All right, let's see. Area 51 Morphs, what's up? Cliffness 420, what's up? Derek's Reptiles, what's going on? Morph Minded LLC, Gojo Plays. Thinking about breeding ball pythons. Any tips? Yeah. Here on my YouTube channel, I have over 1,000 videos on ball pythons. So pretty much anything you want to know. I pretty much covered everything that I could think of that I know. So you can actually dig through my videos or search for them over on YouTube. Let's see. KB Boy Rosie, what's up? I'm getting my first ball python tomorrow. Nice. Congratulations. So yeah. You know, it's kind of interesting with new ball pythons. Some people say not to touch them at all, like the first couple weeks. And really depends on where you get them from. If you get them in the mail, they kind of go through the whole shipping process. I'd probably, you know, completely leave it alone, not really handle it for the first week. But if you get it like at a reptile show or a local breeder, I would say you probably want to handle it right away for, you know, like maybe half an hour at a time, every 2 to 3 days or something like that. Dave James, what's up? I have an Enchi female. I've been debating on finding a male. What would you breed her to? Good question. One of my favorite Enchi combinations, if you mix Enchi with banana or coral glow. As a matter of fact, probably one of my most stunning snakes this year was my banana Enchis that came from my banana Enchi clowns. They're absolutely stunning. Let's see. Wolozy3, where did you get your racks? Yes. So all these racks behind me, these are made from ARS caging. These are really super expensive racks. As a matter of fact, one day I kind of, you know, added up all the costs for all my racks, and it was like $20,000 or something crazy like that if you were to buy them all, you know, all at once. And the cool thing about these ARS caging racks is you can actually buy just individual levels or just multiple levels, whatever you can afford, which is pretty much where I started. I started with just a few levels of the ARS 7030s. As a matter of fact, I bought, I think it was 4 levels of the 7030. I just put them over here right on the ground, and that's kind of how I started, right on the floor. I didn't really have all these racks until, you know, I started selling snakes, and then you can actually reinvest your money to buy more racks. So, but these are really nice racks. Trent McNeely, what's up? Hope all is well. Wow, lots of questions already. Manuel Noriega 1, what's up? Matthew Cortez, what would be the best morph to put with the fire lesser leopard? Good question. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So the fire lesser leopard, keep in mind the fire is in the black-eyed leucistic complex, and then the lesser is in the blue-eyed leucistic complex. So if you actually took that and bred it with something like anything in the blue-eyed leucistic complex, you get a blue-eyed leucistic, an all-white snake with blue eyes. But if you bred it with either a fire or a sulfur, you would actually get an all-white snake with black eyes, which would be kind of interesting. And if you actually hit both of them, a black-eyed leucistic on top of a blue-eyed leucistic, I'm thinking your black-eyed leucistic might actually dominate, and you could have a blue-eyed leucistic. I don't think the blue eyes would come through on a black-eyed leucistic, which is kind of an interesting combination with those. But yeah, if you want to make some white snakes, you can make some pretty awesome white snakes with that. With the leopard, keep in mind the leopard is kind of a dark gene, but it really scrambles up the pattern. One of my favorites with the leopard would be like a spot nose. Leopard with spot nose. As a matter of fact, I have a video on leopard spot nose. I went through Morphmarket and I pulled out all the leopard spot noses with other genes, and it's an amazing combination. Works well with just about any other genes, which is pretty wild. All right, James Boyd is a channel member. Thank you for being a channel member. Spider and Woma lethal. Yes, so I actually did a video on the head wobble and neurological issues and lethal combinations. I did a couple videos on those. And in one of those videos, I actually put up this whole chart as far as what was lethal and what was not recommended as far as like the head wobble. And I'm pretty sure if you actually make a spider woma, it's still a viable combination where you can actually make a spider woma, but it would have, I'd say, a higher than normal chance of having a head wobble with those two genes in the same. So I don't think it's a lethal combination, but I wouldn't actually probably breed those two together, although I have known people to breed them together, and you'll see them for sale over on Morphmarket. All right, Kiri Engel, first live. What's up? Yeah, we'll see if I can keep up with the questions today. I'm already like 20 questions behind. All right, so we've been going 7 minutes, 39 people, 11 thumbs up. All right. All right, up to 14 snakes now. My rack is up 2 months in. Nice. Tyron Phillips, what's up? Have an issue I'm concerned with. How long will you wait before sending your ball to the doc before not eating? Yeah, I don't send my ball pythons to the doctor for not eating. It's pretty typical with ball pythons. I'd say they could go several months, I'd say, and you really don't have to worry about anything, especially if it's like an adult. If you have a hatchling, I'd say pretty much the maximum you want to go with a hatchling or a really young snake is about 3 weeks. And then I would switch to, I'd probably switch to just do like one live, I would actually recommend like a live mouse. I can almost guarantee any ball python, no matter even if it's fasting, they'll always eat a live mouse. So you could try that, try a live mouse, and then follow up with your frozen thawed after that. But I really don't like doing live. That's why I kind of wait for, weeks or sometimes 2 or 3 months before I'll go with a live if I have to. And at this time of year, when I'm breeding ball pythons and my females aren't eating, I'll definitely kind of lean towards the live. I usually, try the frozen thawed first before I do the live. All right, Area 51 Morphs. What do you think of the spot nose gene? What are your thoughts? What would you put spot nose to? Spot nose is kind of an interesting gene. It works really well if you mix it with genes that are pattern enhancing genes. So you could mix it with you could do like a spot nose leopard, which is pretty awesome. Spot nose leopard goes good with just about anything. You could do spot nose Enchi or any of the genes that really scramble up the pattern. Let's see. Jesse's Reptiles. What's up? Hey, are you selling any double heads? Decided to go into recessive. So, I'm not selling any double hets, although right now I actually have listed over on Morphmarket. I have an albino 100% het pied female that I have listed over on Morphmarket, and I actually have an albino pied male, really beautiful albino pied that I just posted last night. That's pretty much the only thing. I don't think I have any just straight like het albino, het pied, or anything like that. All right, I'm getting a Ball Python from BHB. Nice. BHB is a big breeder. They produce a lot of snakes. All right, Fetus Delitus, what's up? How do you introduce a new pair? Are there signs to look for when they're not getting along? I have my first pair. I'm all ready, but I'm nervous to pair because my female is 3 times the size of the male. So when it comes to pairing the males and females, I just wait until October the 15th, and I put all my males in with all my females. And don't really worry about anything usually. You know, as a matter of fact, I actually cycle my males through all my females every single month. So if they don't get along the first month, you know, they have, you know, 4 more months after the first pairing that they'll actually breed. So I don't worry about it. I just make sure to keep cycling my males at least once a month through all my females. All right, Doug Davison, what's up? Can you make a video on how do you come up with the prices for your ball pythons? How do you know how much to sell them for? Good question. I'd say most people actually look over on Morphmarket. So if you look on Morphmarket, usually there's a range, like a low range and a high range as far as what you can expect. And it really depends on, you know, like the quality of the animal. Sometimes if you have like a really stunning example of a certain thing, you can sell it for a lot more. Usually a lot of the new people sell them really cheap. So usually you see, you know, people are like, you know, trying to compete with each other to get the lower price and the lower price and the lower price. Those are usually the new guys coming on the scene thinking they have to, you know, keep competing with each other. And let me tell you, you definitely don't have to compete like that to drive the prices down. All right, let's see. How do I get a bamboo like Bobby? This year I actually missed pretty much most of the odds for bamboos. I had like 30 eggs that were supposed to be bamboos or bamboo combinations. I think I only hit like 5 or 6 bamboos, which was pretty brutal on the odds for my bamboos. But I'll definitely breed a lot more next year. Should have more bamboos. I'm hoping to get, eventually I'm hoping to get a super bamboo so I can really dial in and control the number of bamboos that I produce. All right, Rich, how do you know if a female ball python is too old to breed? So I've actually seen this question quite a few times, and it seems like from what I've seen that as far as we know, females never really get too old to breed, which is interesting. As a matter of fact, the oldest one that I've heard of was like a female that was like 60, 62 years old and still laying eggs, which is pretty crazy. And usually the older the female, the more eggs they lay. So as far as I know, I don't think we've actually found the limit yet. You know, ball pythons really haven't been around that long to really, you know, run up against that wall. You know, and maybe in like 200 years from now, you know, people looking back on the industry and a lot of the breeders have some really old snakes. I think at that point we might figure out the pretty much the oldest age to breed a female. All right, thanks. I'll be in the market. I'm from Canada. Yes. If you're looking at my snakes, I actually don't ship to Canada. I looked into it once, and I think they said it was like $650 or something like that to ship over across the border. So I don't really ship out of the United States. Vision Quest Reptiles, what's up? The Hated Movie Collector, welcome back. Seen you on quite a few lives. Let's see how far we are behind on the questions. Not too bad. 64 people on the lives, 15 minutes in. All right, let's see. Hey, Chris, I'm still working on a rack, but I have mine in totes with latches. Have you ever had a snake able to push a latch open? So I know if you actually look at a lot of some of the YouTube channels over in the UK, they actually have they actually keep them in like a tote system. And what they'll do is they'll take like a soldering iron, one of the ones that looks like a pencil, and they'll heat it up and they'll poke holes, like melt holes into the side of their tub. And I'd say most of those that I've seen, what they do is they have locking latches on the side where you actually, pull the latches down and it kind of snaps into the side. If you have some that just kind of push down, I don't know. I don't know if I keep investing in those. I'd probably switch over to some kind of a latching system if you bought more. I don't know. Maybe if you had a really big ball python, it might be able to push it open. But I actually doubt that a ball python would, push straight up and vertical. But I suppose it's possible. All right, Gojo Plays. What's up? Where do you get your incubators? Yes. So I actually built my own incubator. I kind of lucked out on my incubator. I actually found a beverage cooler, which was 6 foot tall, over on Craigslist. And the guy had just bought it, and the compressor went out. As soon as he got it, it was like DOA. So it was like a brand new beverage cooler, 6 foot tall. And he was reselling it over on Craigslist. I can't remember how much. I think I paid like $100, 120 or something like that. And I think he paid like $1,000 for it. So it was a really expensive beverage cooler. It has the glass front on it. And what I did is I just basically disconnected all the electronics underneath and then put in the heat panels on the sides and the back, and then just set it up on a heat controller, like the type of heat controller used for the rack. And it's been working fantastic. So I've always built my own. I think pretty much everyone I've seen has built their own, but I think you can get commercial incubators for breeding snakes. How much for Bobby? I always joke around with Bobby. I say, I'll sell Bobby for $100,000. I don't know if I take 100,000 though. He's kind of like my channel mascot over here on YouTube. I think if I got rid of Bobby, I'd probably put him in a zoo or something like that, where I know exactly where he is, and maybe where people could actually see him, which would be pretty cool. All right, Dakota Hutch. If you have a young female you don't want to breed, would it be more profitable to sell young or raising her up to breeding age or near breeding age? So yeah, so as a matter of fact, I've actually seen one guy, I guess it's not a breeder. What he would actually do is he would buy young hatchlings, and instead of raising them up and breeding them, he would just raise them up to breeding size, like right around 1,500 grams. Then he'd turn around and sell them, and you can get pretty good money. Say for example, like a pied female, you can buy them, for a few $100 when they're hatchlings. But once they reach about 1,500 grams, I've seen them go for like 1,000, 1,500 or something like that, like a ready to breed female pied ball python or something like that. So I think you'd probably make more breeding versus raising them up and selling them, but I think there is good money just in, if you don't want to like deal with any of that, you want a pet ball python, you want to raise it up, and then once it reaches a certain age, you can sell it and then just keep repeating. And I think you could make some money doing it that way. All right, Dwight Dominic, happy holiday and breeding seasons. Thank you. And the little ducks. Let's see. Cliffness 420. My banana has black eyes. Is it possible it's black-eyed leucistic? I would say no. I have yet to see any gene that would actually break through a black-eyed leucistic. So for example, if you actually had a super fire, it's an all-white snake with black eyes, and sometimes it'll have like a little yellow spots on the top of the on top of the super fires. I actually did a video on black-eyed leucistics looking for genes trying to break through the black-eyed leucistic, and I couldn't see anything that would even vaguely break through. So if you have a black-eyed leucistic, it's going to be an all-white snake. You may have banana hidden in that white snake. All right, let's see. I always want to get one of my bamboo out and hold them while watching this video. Yes, bamboo's pretty awesome. Bobby's really chill. He's in like a really deep shed tonight. It's pretty amazing. Let's see. But one just ate and the other is in deep shed. Yeah, Bobby is in the gray, super gray. I don't think I've ever seen him this gray. It's pretty amazing. Just J42JW, what's up? Jay Clark. Hi, Chris. What would be the best morph to breed with a platinum lesser? Yeah, so with the lesser, keep in mind the lesser is in the blue-eyed leucistic complex. Pretty much the best thing to do with that is to breed it with something else and make the white snake. I'd say they're pretty much the most popular, the all-white snakes. And then if you mix it in with other genes, a lot of times the lesser will really brighten and enhance a lot of your combinations. So you can mix it with a lot of your brightening genes, like pastel or orange dream. I actually made a lesser calico this year, which was pretty amazing. The first time I actually produced it. And the calico that I have is like a dark, almost like a coppery color. So it's like a combination of the dark copper and the really bright lesser kind of breaking through at the same time, which was a pretty cool combination. Spooky Tuesday, what's up? Have you had any problems because your snakes can always smell food? Yeah, so I used to keep my rats and my mice here in my reptile room, and never really had a problem with my snakes as far as always smelling the food. I actually moved them out of here. One of the reasons I moved them out is because every time I do a video or do a live stream, you can always hear the mice kind of squeaking in the background. People are like, what is that noise squeaking in the background? But honestly, if it wasn't for the YouTube and the live streams, I would probably move those back in here, because I think the warmer temperatures in here are better for the rats. I think they're a little bit more productive in 80 degrees versus out there it's like, in the high 60s out in my basement. It's pretty cold out there. Let's see. All right. Snake Man 77, what's up? I recently saw a bamboo sugar yellow belly. Ooh. Yeah, they are amazing. I've been watching your videos on sugar versus calico. I was wondering what other genes than yellow belly produce the same effect. So what other genes than yellow belly? So yeah. None that I can think of that would be similar to yellow belly working, sugar versus calico. There's nothing really that works like yellow belly. There's certain lines of yellow belly, like there's one called, I think it's called the lemonback, which is another kind of line of yellow belly. Raphael Sandoval, what's up? Dakota Hutch, we once had a ball python go 13 months without eating. We had all been giving up, kept trying, and finally ate. Yeah, so I had one that went just over a year, which is pretty crazy. And kind of the funny thing about that snake, it was really big and fat when it went on its fast, and it didn't lose as much weight as you would think. It didn't really look like it had eaten in a whole year. But kind of on the flip side, if I would have known what now, I actually know that pretty much all your fasting ball pythons will definitely eat a live mouse. So, kind of looking back, after about, 3 months, I would definitely try a live mouse or maybe like a live African soft fur. And usually once they eat like one live mouse, they'll go right back on food too. So if you're doing live mice, I think you can prevent going over 2 to 3 months without eating. Rage Games, what's up? Is Bobby in shed? Yes. Take a look at Bobby here. He is deep in shed. I don't know if he can. He's like coming right to my face. What are you doing, Bobby? All right. Come on. Oh, yeah, he's probably going to like shed right here on top of me here. Look at how deep and blue he is here, if you can actually see him. Pretty super deep and blue. Even his eyes are super gray, which is pretty wild. Ugh. All right. All right, Jeffrey's Skyline. Welcome to Die Hard Fan. Thank you for becoming a channel member. So if you're a channel member, you actually have a little icon next to your name in the live stream, so I can see who's channel members, which is pretty cool. All right, let's see. I asked because I plan on getting a spot nose clown to go with my inchy leopard clown female. Yeah, so if you actually have the leopard spot nose clown, that's actually called the Batman, which is a pretty cool combination. All right, let's see. Also, since first time watching live stream, hello, love your videos. Hey, Bobby. All right, nice. I just saw a bamboo spot nose clown male for 1,750 on Morphmarket. Yeah, anything with clown with multiple genes, especially with like, bamboo and spot nose. They can be pretty expensive over there. Let's see. Do you have to wait till October? So you can pretty much breed any time of the year. As a matter of fact, I usually start breeding in mid-October, and I go pretty much 5 months. So I'd say anywhere from like October for the next 5 months, I would say you're still pretty safe to breed and still kind of be on track with all the other ball python breeders. Some of them will lay a little bit early. Some of the females will lay a little bit later, depending when they actually lock with the males. Greasy boy, what's up? Have you ever had a male or female that would just not breed? Yeah, so it really depends on the male and the female. So sometimes if your males are I'd say less than 2 years old on your males, sometimes it's like a 50-50 chance. I used to breed my males at 1 year old, and it seems like you're still kind of playing the odds at 1 year old. I'd probably wait until at least 2 years old on the males. And then the females, even with the females, sometimes you'll see lock after lock after lock, where they'll actually twist the tails with the males and the females coming together, and still you'll see some of your females that won't lay eggs. And I think that pretty much comes down to the body condition of the female. So if you take like a really thin female and it doesn't really eat very well at the beginning of the breeding season, even though you see a lot of locks, if it doesn't have the body condition, a lot of times it still won't develop the eggs. Jeremy Yarish, what's up? Hey Chris, is a fan in the incubator better on top or the bottom? I have 2 snakes that locked yesterday. Yeah, so what I would actually do is if you have a big incubator, what I do is I take like a temperature probe and I move it to different spots in the incubator, like front and back and side to side, and try to get one that actually has where it'll record the high temperature and the low temperature. And say, for example, you put it like in the back corner of your incubator and leave it for 24 hours and look at the high and the low, and then move it to another spot and kind of keep moving it through your incubator. And then you can kind of map it and figure out where the temperatures have a problem in your incubator. And then from that, you can kind of adjust your, where your probe is and your fans and everything to kind of dial in the temperatures around your whole incubator. But yeah, I would definitely do that probably a month or two before you're expecting eggs to get your incubator really dialed in. And then once you have it dialed in, you don't have to worry about it ever, pretty much. It's just when you first get it. Let's see. All right, Andrew, how many grams can I keep in a rack 16 by 24 tub, females and males? Good question. So you definitely want to do one snake per enclosure. 16 by 24. I haven't exactly, I don't know the dimensions off the top of my head. What you'd probably want to do is go over to like the ARS caging website and look at they actually have the dimensions on their tubs over there. You can look at like an ARS 7030, which is pretty much the size for all your adults. And then you can do like grow out racks like I have behind me. You can probably go up to, I'd say maybe, I don't know, 1,500 grams, 1,800 grams maybe in these grow out racks. I wouldn't really push it more than, something like maybe 2,000 grams might outgrow one of these. This is a ARS 5040, so it's a 50 series tub. And you can go over there and get the dimensions on the tub size over there at their website. Gojo plays, what's up? Where do I find cheap snake racks? What I would actually do, I would probably build my own to start out. If you're looking for real cheap snake racks, you can actually do like plastic totes, and then just put like a heat strip in the back. I've actually seen people use like bookshelves and then put like a heat the really thin coiled up heat strips. You can put it in the back with a thermostat and just put totes right on top of it. You can do that. As a matter of fact, when I started out, I kind of transitioned from glass aquariums and I transitioned over to plastic totes just for a couple months before I got my rack. So I did use something like that just to kind of expand my collection. I had bought a whole bunch of snakes. I didn't have room for them. I just went to Home Depot and bought some totes and put them all in the totes. It worked pretty good too. Area 51 morphs. I'm out of here. Got to get to work. See you later. Let's see. All right. I know you accidentally paired two males and they fought. Have you ever had a male and female fight? So good question. I have heard some people put the males and the females together and they will fight sometimes. I've pretty much always ignored it, I guess. I put the males with the females. And kind of the weird thing is, I think the females can be a little bit jumpy as far as just kind of being touched. So I would say it's not really fighting. They're just in a different mood where they don't like to be touched. And what I actually do when I'm pairing up my males and my females to kind of break them out of that mood, what I'll do is I'll take the male, I'll put it right on top of the female, and then I'll take a little, like a watering can, like you use for your garden, and I'll sprinkle a little lukewarm water on both snakes, and it seems like it kind of gets them both in the same mood, especially if you have like a really defensive snake, or if you have one in a feeding mode and you sprinkle some water on them, they kind of just mellow out right away. They kind of snap out of it. You kind of go more into like a breeding mode, I'd say, which is kind of interesting. All right. Want to make a world's first? Yes. I have made some world's first. I think they're kind of overrated. I want to make some pretty snakes. That's, some people are looking for the beauty. Some people are looking for the world's first. Now one of the things you can do for a world's first is work on a gene that's not really that popular, that a lot of people really aren't working on, and kind of breed it into a lot of other combinations and make some stuff that no one has made. All right, Michael Matson, what's up? How do you create a business from snakes? Yeah, so I would say buy some snakes and breed them. And well, there's different ways you can actually create a business. Some people breed snakes as far as, breeding them and selling the offspring. Some people do educational programs. As a matter of fact, educational programs might be even more lucrative than breeding snakes. I've heard some people making crazy money, charging so much per person as far as admission, and they'll get these huge crowds and they'll do educational programs and make some pretty good money. You can do like a reptile zoo. There's a lot of things you can do. You can become a veterinarian for snakes too. So, or you can just be a snake YouTuber. You can do that too. Shane Henderson, what's up? My beautiful people. Mark Twain, my banana just got his first freckles. He's growing on me. Hamza, what's up? Lord Hardwick, I have a Sumatran short tail. All right, that's a boa constrictor. Strangely, it looks scary, but they're super tame. Don't confuse them for blood pythons. Oh no, the Sumatran short tails. Yeah, that's not a boa. That's the short tails are similar to the blood pythons. Not really familiar with the short tails. All right, let's see. Christian Thomas, what's up? What combos are you focusing on currently? Good question. So what do I have cooking here in my retirement? One of the things I'm breeding this year I'm pretty excited about is I'm breeding my triple hets together, which are albino pied clowns. So I should get single, double, and hopefully triple visual recessives here in the coming years, which would be pretty cool. Trying to get more genes into my bamboos. I actually have one that is a pastel pinstripe calico bamboo desert ghost, which is pretty awesome. Trying to hit some desert ghosts, trying to hit some more pieds, trying to work more stuff into the bamboos. So I'm shooting for a super bamboo so I can, really crank out the bamboos and know 100% sure I'm going to get a certain number of bamboos instead of kind of playing the odds with the co-dominant bamboos. I did have this dinker project. I don't know if you kind of watched the kind of the dinker that I've been kind of looking at. As it ages and matures, it's looking like it might be a dark pastel. It looks like, now it almost looks exactly like a pastel instead of like a new dinker gene. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to keep that one or not. I might actually breed a pastel to it and just kind of prove that it's actually a female. So I might save it and just kind of prove out and see if I can produce the super pastel. And then if I can, maybe I'll sell it. All right, Raymond Jones, what's up? Why is a Burmese python the best choice for your big snake? Why is it better than green anacondas or retook? Good question. So you're looking for a monster. I would say Burmese pythons, they grow, I'd say they grow pretty much just as fast as reticulated pythons. But Burmese don't get as long. So I can actually pick up like a 100-pound Burmese python and put it on my neck. and it's only like, I don't know how long it is, maybe like 12 feet or something like that, versus like a similar reticulated python that actually will get like 17 feet. So it's, I'd say the retics are a little bit harder to handle because they're really super long and skinny. So it's a little bit harder to, especially with one person trying to control my reticulated python versus a Burmese. The other thing with retics, a lot of people say the reticulated pythons are a little more flighty, a little bit more squirrely than the Burmese pythons. And when it comes to the anacondas, like the green anacondas, the anacondas get super thick, really super thick and heavy. A green anaconda might be too much just for one person, and the anacondas really like water. I've seen some people where they keep them in kind of like a huge kind of an aquarium setup, where a lot of times they can get, you know, completely submerged in the water, which is a little bit more challenging, I'd say, than a Burmese. You can get either one, I'd say. Either one has its challenges. Even if any big snake has its challenges, I'd say. Sumatran shorttails are the best snakes, best big snakes. Ginferno 3, what's up? Apocalyptic surgeon. Maybe I'll invite you to my house when the world ends. I need a good surgeon. I got a 7-month-old ball python. We think she's a female, and my girlfriend wants to start breeding snakes. When should we start? Yeah, the first thing you need is a male, obviously. 7-month-old female, you probably have at least another 1.5 to 2 years before she's definitely ready to breed. Sometimes they'll breed at 2 years, but I'd say most of the times it's going to be 3. I hit women. What is your largest ball python? I actually have one that's over 4,000 grams, almost 5,000 grams. A really big, normal, 100% het caramel albino. Her name is Zeus. She's really big. Russell, what's up? My snake is just shed. How long before my snake will shed again? Good question. So pretty much from what I've seen, the more you feed your snake, the more often it will shed. So if you actually look at some of the snakes that are on really long fasts, like if your snake will fast a whole year or something crazy like that, usually those snakes will shed like once every 6 months. And if you're feeding your snake like 2 or 3 times a week, a lot of times it'll actually shed every like 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. I've actually seen some hatchlings, you know, with a really high metabolism, they'll actually eat a lot, grow really fast, and shed a lot more frequently. Rob M, gravel close to yellow belly. Gravel is completely different than yellow belly, but if you actually take a highway, which is the combination of the gravel and the yellow belly, and you breed it to like a normal, you'll actually get half yellow bellies and half gravels. And as a standalone gene, they'll look pretty much exactly the same. Most people say you can't tell the difference between a gravel and a yellow belly. But the yellow belly, the super yellow belly is the ivory, which is an all-white snake. The super gravel almost kind of looks like the highway, the gravel yellow belly. So it has a lot of pattern, kind of jumbled up pattern. It's not a white snake, so they're definitely different genes. All right, Jeremy, my lesser Mojave locked. I'm excited, hoping to get blue-eyed leucistics. Congratulations. See how far we are behind on the questions? Not too bad. About 20 behind, 25. So we've been going 44 minutes, 80 people on the live, 36 thumbs up, 0 thumbs down. All right. I heard, as a matter of fact, my last live stream, I got 2 thumbs down, and then I was watching some other, one of these creator videos, and apparently they're going to get rid of the thumbs down button. So nobody can give me thumbs down, which I thought was kind of interesting. Not that it really matters, I guess. All right, Sam Neck. What's up? First time breeding. I've seen the male and female lock 3 times now. I only have 1 male and 1 female, so I'm trying every other weekend. Every other weekend. That sounds about right. So, yeah, so when I first started in ball pythons, I was kind of doing the same thing. Like every other weekend, I was trying to breed all my snakes twice a month. And you really don't really need to do it, you know, over the full 4 or 5 months. I'd probably do that maybe for a month or 2, and then you could probably, you know, at the end of the year, follow up, maybe just do once a month, kind of the last few months. But yeah, that's kind of the advantage of just having a couple snakes too. So how long should I keep that going? Yeah, so I'd probably just do a couple months and then switch to like once a month for, you know, a total of, I usually keep going for about 5 months and then just separate everyone. All right, Nicholas, I have a female mouser who, female mouse who ate her last 2 litters. Is she a bad mom? Yeah, so sometimes with mice, mice can eat their litters, and sometimes they'll do it once, sometimes they'll do it twice, but usually they won't do it a 3rd time. So I would definitely wait. What you can actually do, if you have a mouse that's eating their litters, what you can actually do is put some food in the tub, maybe some like Missouri rat food or something like that with little blocks or something, so they always have something to eat. So it kind of keeps them from eating their young. And usually once they raise the first batch of offspring, they'll never eat their young again. They just, you know, they have the babies and they really don't know what they are, and they get a little bit confused. I used to cull all my mice that would eat their litters, and then I found out later on, you know, I was culling right at the 2nd litter, and that's when I shouldn't have. I should have given them, you know, 1 more chance, and usually they're fine after that. All right, I want a ball python with albinoism, but for any ball python, are they legal in Massachusetts? Jeffrey Skyline, channel member, thank you. I'm not 100% sure. I did a video, I think it's been a couple years since I did that video, where ball pythons are illegal. I know in certain parts of New York they're illegal. I think there might have been a certain small locality in Massachusetts, maybe just one little area, that they might have made ball pythons illegal. I'm sure it's not the whole state though, but you may go back and look at the video that I made on that, and maybe just do like a Google search to see if it's legal there. I know like in like Hawaii, ball pythons are completely illegal all over Hawaii. So that's pretty much the only place I know that they just banned them all over. Phil the Fish, what's up? Interesting names. Beach Monkey, what's up? How do I convince my wife to let me breed noodles? I would say maybe have her watch some ball python videos. Maybe get her warmed up to some videos. Hey, we got the first super chat. Thank you, Dustin Wayne. All right, let me scroll down to the super chat. I have a male 700 grams and 2 1,600 gram girls. I'm pairing him for 3 days on, 4 days off between both. Been going for 2 weeks. How much longer this way? Yeah, so what I do, I breed your male with your females. You're doing 3 days on, 4 days off. Moving to the second one, 3 days on and 4 days off. I'd probably give them the rest of the month off and just do once a month. Or what you could do, what I would probably do is I'd probably do I don't know. I was thinking it usually is, I think, more beneficial to try to breed more often at the beginning of the season, because then you can kind of get your eggs all together kind of at the same time of the year. But with two snakes, I wouldn't think it would really matter. What I've actually been doing this year is I'll kind of move my males through all my females, and then what I'll do is I'll take like a big window for breeding, like for feeding, like 5 days for feeding, and I'll try to get at least one rodent in every single female, and preferably 2 rodents. I probably wouldn't go with 3, because sometimes if you have 3 in too short of a time, they can actually regurgitate. But so I would probably do 3 days on, 4 days off, and then go to your other one, 3 days on, 4 days off, and then maybe give them a day or 2 to rest, and then go into feeding. Try to feed your females, and if they both eat, I would probably wait maybe a couple days, and then go back and feed them again, and then wait probably another week at least. Maybe give them some time off after that, and kind of do that cycle for the whole month to try to increase the feeding. Because keep in mind, once you get like in the middle of the breeding season, your females will go off of food when they start developing the eggs, and at that point you can't feed them anymore, and you pretty much get what you get after that. So at the beginning, I'd say try to feed them as much as you can. All right, so I'm gonna go back 20 questions back. All right, Bobby, what are you doing? Bobby is in a deep shed. Look at how deep of a shed he's. Almost looks completely grayed out. That's pretty amazing. Super grayed out. I don't think I've ever seen him this gray. I was doing one video with him one day, and he actually started shedding right on my neck. Which is pretty crazy. All right, fill the fish. What should I get as my first snake if I want to get into breeding? Yes, so I would probably start with a female. As a matter of fact, if you start off in ball pythons, what I would recommend is try to get like a mature female, coming up on like 1,500 grams or bigger, and then get a male. That way you can actually produce offspring the first year. Or if you get a hatchling, I would definitely get the female first, because a lot of times you have to sit on the females for 2 or 3 years before you can breed them. But as far as genes, the sky's the limit. If you want to go into the dark genes or the bright genes, or the white snakes or the black snakes, you can do pretty much anything. You can go for the world's firsts. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You can go with the bamboos. The bamboos are pretty popular. Let's see. Andrew, can a ball python be picky of its substrate? I would say definitely. So if you actually look at the feeding response of a ball python, a lot of times if you have a dirty substrate, it'll take the ball python off of food, and cleaning the substrate more frequently a lot of times will increase its appetite. And it seems like with my ball pythons, they really like the coconut husk, the chips, and it seems like that really stimulates their appetite, which is kind of interesting. We need more drone footage. Yes. As a matter of fact, I was thinking of doing more regular videos and less lives. I've been doing lives for it's like for pretty much the whole summer, just kind of doing random lives here and there instead of my regular videos. Thinking about doing the regular interesting ball python kind of educational videos here coming up. May actually do some drone footage. I haven't actually flown the drone for a long time. But yeah, maybe on the next video, I'll do a little bit of drone footage. All right, honey biscuits. My leopard spot nose yellow belly 100% het clown comes on Thursday. Nice. Wow, leopard spot nose yellow belly. So that's pretty cool. You can make some Batmans, which is the leopard spot nose clown. You gotta watch the yellow belly though, because say for example, if you had yellow belly in a clown and you bred it, you might end up with an all-white snake, which could be a lot less expensive if you actually hit all the genes, the leopard spot nose yellow belly clown. So you kind of have to watch that yellow belly, and, the black-eyed leucistics and the blue-eyed leucistics if you're working with some of the real high-end stuff, so you don't hit it. Sometimes it can kind of get confusing. Royalty morphs. How come you don't ultrasound more often, say once every 2 months or so, and breed your females when they're developing follicles? Yeah, that's one way you can do it. You can actually breed year-round with an ultrasound. It seems like you'd be a little bit more productive, but it seems like you're always breeding and incubating and producing hatchlings instead of the regular seasons where you get, all your ball pythons, and then, one season you're like just, at a certain time of the year, you're like selling everything. And then once you sell everything, and then you kind of go back into, it's a little bit different. If you breed year round, I'd say it's more consistent work through the whole year. But if you breed on seasons, you kind of have the highs and the lows, where you'll be like, one season you'll be really super busy, and the next season you'll be like, there's really nothing to do hardly at all. Like when my females are building eggs and none of them are eating, it's almost no work at all here in the sink room. So it kind of gives you a break if you're breeding seasonally versus all year round where you're always working. It's kind of like with colubrids. Once you take all your snakes and you put them in hibernation for a couple months, it's like, finally I don't have to deal with these snakes. So you can put them all in hibernation and take a break. So it's one of the advantages of doing it that way. All right, Eric, what's up? How does your breeding process go? And big fan. So basically, when it comes to breeding, I just pair up my males and females on October the 15th and just kind of cycle my males through my females. The beginning of the season, when I'm pairing up, I try to feed everyone pretty heavy. I usually double up on feeding, trying to give everyone at least one, possibly two rodents. And then about 5 months later, I take all the males out, and then once the females start laying eggs, I just go through every female tub and just check on them every day to see if there's eggs, and just collect the eggs and put them in the incubator. So it's pretty simple. Just put the males with the females and you'll get eggs. All right, see you later. The hated movie connector. Got to get up, collector. Got to get up at 4:30 a.m. Wow, that's early. All right, smiles. Do I have any favorite morphs? Yeah. So I would say bamboo is one of my favorites. Like Bobby around my neck, deep in shed here. Of course, everybody's favorites are, the albinos, the pieds, and the clowns. Pretty much, as far as popularity, some of the top ones there. Pastel could be, I'd say, one of my favorites. Super pastel is definitely one of my favorites. Trying to get more super pastel combos. I kind of like I don't know, it seems like lately I've been really getting into my calico, which is kind of like a coppery dark version of the calico, which is pretty amazing in a lot of combinations. It's actually been surprising me, that calico. All right, Soup. What's up, Soup? How's it going? Used to be the Rock Lesnar. I keep changing my name. That's funny. You know what you can actually do instead of changing your name? You could just create another YouTube channel. I'm actually I think I'm up to 23 channels. So I have a lot of channels. I keep, coming up with new ideas. I'm like, oh, that's a ridiculous idea. I want to do something else. So right now I have 2 channels that are monetized. I have this Boll Python channel And then I have my motorcycle obsession, where I review new motorcycles. Just got that monetized. I was thinking about doing a third channel, but let me tell you, with 2 channels, that definitely keeps me busy enough. All right, I like lesser. Yes, lesser's pretty awesome. What is a brightening gene that does not fade the animal's head? Good question. I'm not exactly sure on that one. I don't know. The only one that really fades the animal's head, I would say, is like super pastel. It can really fade the animal's head. Usually with some of your pastels, especially if you take pastel and you mix it with fire to make the firefly. I'm not sure if that would actually lighten the head, though. I think it would. I'm not sure on that one. T&J Reptiles, what's up? Bobby looks like he's dulling out. He is going into his shed. He is super blue. You could look for a lesser pin. Yeah, lesser pinstripes are pretty awesome. Gareth Court, what's up? Phil the Fish. Is it bad to put a baby in an adult size breeding pen? I would say yes. If you give a ball python too much space, I think it could stress it out. I would say if you have a baby in a really big bin, what I would actually do is I'd take a hide and kind of put it in the back. As a matter of fact, you could probably put 2 hides, like one in the back over the hot spot and then one up front. And you could do it that way and then keep your babies in like an adult sized tub and then just kind of grow up that baby in the adult tub. And then you wouldn't have to buy the different size tubs as you go. Super Bamboo is BEL. Yes, it is a blue-eyed leucistic. Let's see. How does your breeding process go, and how do you go about with the eggs? Yes. So I do have a couple videos on how to incubate ball python eggs. And basically what I do is I just put them in I think it's like a 6-quart shoebox, one of those plastic shoe boxes. And I use half vermiculite water by weight. And I cover them with press and seal, put them in an incubator at 90 degrees for 2 months. That's pretty much it. Really super simple incubating eggs. You don't have to turn them or anything. You just put them in there, half vermiculite, half water with the press and seal, and they come back 2 months later and you have eggs. It's pretty easy. All right, Orlando. Does the champagne gene bring wobble as often as the spider, or does it have less of an issue? Yeah, so the champagne can bring, I've actually seen some real severe wobbles in certain champagnes. As a matter of fact, I saw one at a pet store when I first started in ball pythons. I was like, what in the world is that? Ball python got it squirreling all over, and then I realized it was actually a genetic defect. And it wasn't normal. It's kind of freaked me out the first time I saw it. I would say, as far as the occurrence, I've actually bred some spiders here in my collection, and I've yet to see any head wobble at all. I don't know anyone who's been breeding champagnes like in mass numbers, as far as trying to, get the proportion of the head wobble in the champagnes. But I know in spiders, I'd say probably, I'd say as far as spiders with wobble, maybe 10% have a wobble in spiders. 90% as far as spiders, I'd say don't have a wobble. I'm not sure about champagnes. I think it's probably pretty much on par with the spiders. All right, Winter Adventures, what's up? I got a spider with a wobble. She's really active all the time, even after feed. Won't sleep in her hide, but off to the side between the glass. What can I do to make her more at ease? Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't like glass aquariums. Sometimes it's hard to get the snakes comfortable in glass aquariums. I always prefer the dark tubs like this. It seems like the ball pythons are a lot happier. You can do like a different size hide. Maybe choose a bigger hide on one side. Make sure your hide is completely enclosed with just one hole on the front. If you're using like the half log, a lot of times they don't like to go in the half logs because it's not really completely enclosed. I find even like when in glass aquariums, I find it's kind of hard to feed the ball pythons, especially if they don't have their head right by the hole of the hide and you're trying to feed them. A lot of times if you actually like try to pull the hide off them, sometimes they like freak out and it kind of ruins their feeding response. That was one of the big things I didn't like with the hides in the glass aquariums. John Thompson, what's up? Do you ever feed your retics rabbits? Yes. So that's that's one of the things I'm working on right now. As a matter of fact, I have one guy who has agreed to breed rabbits for me and sell me the frozen rabbits for my reticulated pythons because I don't want to. I don't want to have to euthanize my own rabbits. I don't want to breed rabbits. I've been feeding the rats, the really big jumbo retired rats. Yeah, my reticulated pythons. Let me tell you, especially Lucy, she is way too big for rats. She has to eat multiple rats, and the problem is if you feed a really big reticulated python like that, like 8 rats in a row, it seems like it's kind of hard on their face and their mouth. When they're hitting that rat over and over and over, it kind of beats them up in the face. Where I think, with a rabbit, you could just feed them once and be done with it, or maybe like twice a month or something like that. So definitely I am switching over to rabbits probably here in the next, maybe next few months. I'll switch over to rabbits completely for Lucy. Glenn K, starting my first pairing soon, a super pastel calico het clown to a pastel leopard het clown. Wow, that's pretty awesome. I love the super pastels. You're going to get half super pastels, and you'll also get a calico super pastel leopard clown, which would be pretty awesome. All right, Bobby, what are you doing? I don't know what he's doing. 87 people on the live. It's pretty amazing. We've been going for an hour and 7 minutes. All right, Jeffrey. Ooh, got Bobby's head right behind me between my back and the chair. I want to squash you. All right, let's see. Is it normal to be 12 and want a snake already? Yes, I've actually seen kids even younger than 12. I've seen some YouTube channels. It's kind of unfortunate if you're 12 and trying to do YouTube because they actually disable all the comments. I think you have to be at least 14 to have a YouTube channel with the comments enabled. So that's kind of a bummer doing YouTube, but yeah, I've seen really young kids doing snakes. What's your favorite all-time morph? That is the bamboo, like Bobby around my neck here. Usually looks really good, really super grayed out. You're getting ready to shed. Angel, what's up? Send me a snake for my birthday and I'll pay the shipping. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't produce enough snakes to give free ones away. So I'm pretty much doing this full time, and I live on snake money to pay the bills. Snake money, YouTube money, and super chats to pay the bills. So yeah, if I don't sell snakes, then I can't pay the trash guys. So can't really ship them out for free. Maybe someday. If my YouTube channel takes off. As a matter of fact, if you actually look at my YouTube channel, if you go over to Social Blade and look at the stats, I had one video. It was a really old video I made like 3 years ago that was how to unlock a locked truck in 30 seconds. And that video just exploded, and I got like 1 million views in like the last couple of weeks, which is pretty amazing. I was like, I couldn't believe it. At one point, I think I was up to over 50,000 views a day on that one video. And now it's pretty much died down and I'm back to normal. But boy, if you look at my stats, it's like, wow, that thing really took off. I couldn't believe it. Haley, what's up? New snake owner here. I fed my 3-month-old last night. Still seems hungry this evening. Should I feed him again or wait until next week? So 3-month-old, I'd say it really depends on the body condition of the snake and the size of the rodent that you're feeding. So as a matter of fact, all my hatchlings this year I've been feeding pretty much once a week, and I've noticed they're not really growing that fast feeding them once a week. I usually feed them like 2 or 3 times a week, and it's because I had like 100 hatchlings and I'm just burning through the rodents. I was like, all right, I'm just going to cut back to once a week, and it's amazing how much slower they actually grow compared to feeding 2 or 3 times a week. So I'd say if your snake is not like really big and bloated and like super fat, you could definitely follow up with another one. As a matter of fact, it depends on how big it is, but if it's looking a little bit thin, I'd say you could probably feed every 4 days to put some weight on it. If it actually starts looking like it's really super fat and pudgy, like it's going to explode, I'd probably, wait until it kind of thins out a little bit. As a matter of fact, with some of my really super fat snakes, sometimes I'll give them like 2 weeks off to kind of thin them out so they're not so huge. Let's see. I've been looking at yellow belly pines. A lot are listed as yellow belly or gravel. Yes, that is the problem with the highways. You can't tell the difference between the yellow bellies or the gravels. Yes. Some people say that I've actually seen some people that said they can actually pick out the gravels from the yellow bellies. And some people actually do YouTube videos and they'll be like, this is how to pick them out. But I'd say pretty much 99% of everyone that you talk to, like all the big breeders, they'll say, yep, there's absolutely no way you can tell the difference between a standalone yellow belly or a gravel, which is pretty interesting. And then you get into, breeding it into other things. And then you don't know if you're going to get the ivories, the all white snake, or the highways. So that's kind of the challenge of that project. Tony, what's up? What should I put with bell female? Yes. So first of all, if you have a blue-eyed leucistic, you should probably figure out what genes are in that snake, because I actually did a video about all the different ways you can make a blue-eyed leucistic, and I think there was like maybe 35 different ways, depending on the genes, that you can make a blue-eyed leucistic. And sometimes you can get like really high-end genes, like the super bamboo. If you bred 2 bamboos together, you'll get like a really expensive super bamboo. Or you could get, like I'd say probably the best one is like the lesser Mojave, as far as one of the whitest blue-eyed leucistics with the best eye size. Depends on if it has micro eyes or if it has like bug eyes. Sometimes you can kind of guess at what the genes are in there. But if you don't know the genes, I mean, what you actually could do is you could take any blue-eyed leucistic, breed it to any other blue-eyed leucistic, and you get a whole clutch of blue-eyed leucistics. In most cases, I guess, unless you made like a Mojave Mystic, like the Mystic Potion or something like that. But what I would probably do is try to figure out what the genes are in that blue-eyed leucistic before you can, breed it to something else, kind of tease out the genes. Missy, what's up? Nuclear blast. Thumbs up for Bobby, the bamboo ball python. All right, let's see how far we are behind in the comments. Wow, I'm about 40 comments behind. 86 people on the live still. Wow, 62 thumbs up. Let's see. What's the longest amount of time a ball python has stopped eating? I've seen over a year. It's pretty much the record. Like a year and a couple months. It's pretty much the longest time, which is kind of crazy. I would say for an extended period of not eating like that, you're almost forced to feed live. Let me tell you, if you had a ball python that's been fasting a long time, you put a live mouse in there, it'll almost always eat it right away. Can we set up a GoFundMe so you can get a better mic? Not much sound on my videos. Yeah, so I'm technologically challenged here at the house. So my internet that comes into my house is so super slow. I actually live up in the middle of nowhere up here, so I can't get high-speed internet. But kind of the weird thing is I found out just recently I can live stream on my phone where the video is really fast on my phone. So I haven't quite figured out how to get the internet from my phone to anything else here in my setup, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if you can plug an external mic into, actually I'm using a Galaxy Note 9 phone. So yeah, I wish I could actually get my whole house to get like high speed internet, and that way I could actually upgrade my setup here. My setup's my setup's pretty bad here for the live streams, just using my phone. Let's see. I'm investing in some V70C serpentine racks. Nice. Yosemite reptiles. When do you feed your hatchlings and how often? We had our first clutch this year at the end of August. They're currently eating frozen thawed rat pups. So yeah, so my hatchlings, I actually feed my hatchlings on Thursday. I kind of switched it this year. I used to feed on Monday, but the only day you can ship out is on Tuesday. And I didn't really want to feed on one day and then have them go through the mail system on the following day. So I actually changed my feeding to Thursday. And I would say feeding once a week is almost like maintenance for a lot of these. Unless you're feeding really big rodents, yeah, I would say they're not really growing that fast. So when I had fewer hatchlings, I would actually feed more often. I would feed usually twice, sometimes 3 times a week. And let me tell you, 3 times a week, they grow like a rocket, super fast, which is pretty amazing. And of course, as I kind of whittled down my hatchlings, I think I sold like 30 hatchlings. I have about 40 for sale. I think I have 15 over on Morphmarket, but I'm kind of running up against the wall on Morphmarket because the limit that I can actually put over there is 15 at a time. And even if I upgraded my account, it won't kick in until February. So I'm kind of stuck at a maximum of 15 over there right now. Let's see. All right, selling my 70-30-18 polyurethane cages for large snakes. Mark Twain, how come ASF are illegal to take across state lines? That is a good question. I always thought it was completely wrong. It's actually outlaw African softwares from crossing state lines. And if you actually look at the reproduction and the growth rate of African softwares compared to just regular rats grow super fast compared to African softwares. So I have no idea how, you know, the laws are determined. I think that was a big mistake. I think they should be legal. All right, ITCS DDUB22W, what's up? How long after feeding do you pair your snakes? Yeah, so what I've actually been doing this year, I've been doing a little bit different. So I'll take like 5 or 6 days to feed. Like I'll try to go through and feed everyone, and then like 2 or 3 days later, I'll go back and follow up again and try a second feeding before I start pairing up again. And usually the very last feeding, I wait at least 3 days before I pair up the snake. I found that if you actually feed your snake and then you pair it up like the next day, I've had several females, I think mostly the females, will actually regurgitate if you pair them up too soon after feeding. So I'd wait at least 3 to 4 days. All right, David George, my Bol Python hasn't eaten in a month. I'm worried. What should I do? Yeah, that's the most common thing. So I would say usually a month is no problem at all for Bol Pythons. Usually I worry if it's, I start being concerned after about 3 months, after about 6 months. I'll definitely take some action. But a lot of times when they run up against like the 1,000-gram wall, sometimes they'll go off of food. No matter what you throw at them, they'll absolutely refuse. I'd say what you can do if you have access to live rodents, you could try like a live mouse, depending on the size of your snake, or like a small live rat. I really don't like feeding live if I don't have to. And when I do feed live, I'll try to feed maybe no bigger than like half the thickest part of the snake. I'll actually keep it pretty small. So, you know, if it's a snake versus the rat, I want the snake to win every single time. You know, I want it to go quick too. So I always use a smaller rodent. So to give the snake a definite advantage when you're feeding a live. But a lot of times you can throw in like a live mouse and it'll eat it right away. And then a lot of times it'll just go right back on food from one live feeding. Let's see. Carlos, is Desert Ghost Codom or recessive? It is recessive. Desert Ghost. Desert Ghost works really well with pastel and super pastel. Makes them probably the brightest pastels that keep their brightness into adulthood. So it's a pretty awesome gene. Francois, what's up? Have you had any experience with ball pythons in bioactive enclosures? No, I do have a bioactive with my crested geckos. With ball pythons, I would think you probably have to have like a really big, like a huge glass aquarium or something. You know, ball pythons can be pretty messy. And I think, you know, when you're actually, you know, pulling out all that substrate, you'd have to have a pretty big enclosure to keep a lot of the bioactive going. I tried it a little bit on the tubs, but it doesn't really work because the tubs aren't really big enough to really maintain the bioactive. You need something a little bit bigger. Let's see. Let's see. All right, Ricardo, is it normal for my ball python to be inside her house all day long after eating? So, I assume you say in the house, probably in the hide. When I first started with ball pythons, I actually had glass aquariums on wire racks, and I had hides in all my racks. And during the day, pretty much all the ball pythons were always in the hides. And I come into the room and it was like all the enclosures are empty because none of them would actually be out. So I would say yes, it's definitely normal to be in the hide. That's one of the reasons I like the tubs, because they can be in a bigger, dark enclosure where they can kind of move around, but they're still in their hide kind of a setup in the tubs. Let's see. Adam, what's up? How many times a month should I pair my snakes if they locked the first time? I would probably do at least once a month between your males and your females. So yeah, so as a matter of fact, I used to try to, pair up when I first started, I had just a few snakes. I was pairing like every week, just kept pairing and pairing and pairing. And I did have pretty good success, but I found out you don't really need to pair that often. I'd say once a week for like 5 months, and you're perfectly fine. All right, let's see. Museki Panda, what's up? Hi, Chris. Wondering how you maintain the temperature in your snake room. I assume you don't keep the entire residence at 80. Do you use a space heater? Yes. So my snake room, believe it or not, this snake room is less than 200 square feet. I have a lot of stuff packed into the snake room, so I keep it pretty small. And it's right in the middle of my house, so it's pretty well insulated. And then I have a space heater on like a greenhouse thermostat that I dial in for the temperature. On one end, I actually have the space heater. And the problem with the space heater is you'll actually find that you'll have temperature gradients from the top of the room to the bottom, and you really have to mix up the air. So what I actually have on the other side of the room is a big air filter that puts up a lot of air like straight up and circulates the air, so it's I have the same temperature at the top of the room, try to get the same temperature as the bottom of the room. And then over the door, what I'll do is I'll roll up a towel and block the air coming in under the door, because a lot of times that's cold, dry air that'll hit the bottoms of these racks. So that's what I have for the temperature. And then for the humidity, I actually have a portable swamp cooler that I have on it's a controller, so I can dial in the humidity. So I have the humidity and the temperature. I can perfectly dial in whatever I want here in the room, which is pretty awesome. Let's see. What's the safest option you found for keeping the heat up? Yeah, so that's my situation. And then besides all that, I have, the built-in hot spots in the rack system. So I keep those at 90 degrees, which is all built into the racks. Let's see. What's going on, man? Catching the end of the live stream. Still no Super 70 tubs from Reptile Basics. Bummer. Benji Smith, what's up? Let's see. In your Ball Python buyer's guide, you didn't say how many weeks one should be to buy. I'm not sure. I think your autocorrect kind of messed up that question. I don't really understand that question. All right, Tara Kokolin, what's up? It's pretty cool that you do these. Yeah, I've been doing these kind of once a week just to say, hey, I'm still alive here on my YouTube channel. Thinking about, as a matter of fact, I'm thinking about maybe having this one as one of my last lives and doing more regular videos, kind of moving into the winter. So, working on another video. As a matter of fact, day after tomorrow, I think I might record it tomorrow. I still have to do some research on that video. But yeah, keep switching things up here on my YouTube channel. All right, let's see. Also have a double het hypo normal clown, 1600 gram unknown normal, 3 altogether. Spider is an animal I saved way underweight. All right, Jeremy. Our snakes are in a large individual enclosures. We're planning to breed for the first time. Should I pair them for the breeding in their vivariums or put them in something smaller? So what I would actually do, kind of the trick I've been doing pretty much from the beginning, is I would actually take your male, put it on top, physically put it on top of your female, and then take a little watering can with some lukewarm water and kind of sprinkle it on both the male and the female at the same time. For some reason, that really stimulates them to breed. And I would think no matter how big the enclosure is, even if it's really big, with the male on the female, sprinkle them with some water, I can almost guarantee that they'll breed right there in the enclosure, which I think you'd be fine in the bigger enclosure. All right, let's see. What is the best treatment for mites? Thanks for sharing. If you just have just a few ball pythons, you can actually get what they call predatory mites, which is a mite that eats mites, which is pretty cool. I don't think it's really worth it to do like on a large scale. If you have like, 50 or 100 ball pythons, you might go broke buying the predatory mites, trying to do that. But as far as pretty much the safest thing you can do to get rid of mites, I would definitely try the predatory mites. And they don't last very long. They kind of you have to buy them and then put them in there right away. So they kind of have a really short shelf life. Ben Harris, can I get a, oh yeah, oh yeah. All right, let's see. That's what I do. Put 2 or 3 hides. Let's see. Fill the fish. How and where should I sell ball pythons? I would actually sell them on Morphmarket. It seems like you can do pretty good over on Morphmarket. Or if you can hit like a local reptile show, if you have enough for a table, you can set up a little display there. Looks like we got a super chat from Mike. Thanks, Mike. Super chat question. I have a pastel enchi that weighs in at 689.36 grams. That's pretty specific. And she is 3 feet long. But should she weigh that much? 3 feet long. I don't usually measure my snakes. Good question. I would say, how old is that snake? Because usually at right around 700 grams, I'd say kind of the average age would be maybe about 10 months, anywhere from 10 months to a year, something like that, for a snake that size. Did Bobby fall asleep? Yes, Bobby fell asleep. He is sleeping during this live. All right, I'm going to go back to some of these old questions that I missed here. Let's see. The LZ, what's up? Hey, Chris, would you ever get any kind of iguana or monitor? Good question. Probably one that I would maybe get is one of the tegus. I absolutely love the tegus. They get really big though, like a big puppy dog. You can like hold them in your arms. I think you need a lot of time and attention for a tegu. I've actually seen people like potty train them and have them run around the house, which is kind of crazy. I think if I actually ended up moving into like some kind of a retail, setup where I had, more space and a lot of employees and something like that, maybe I would get a tegu. Not sure I could actually fit it in with everything I have going on. Bring out Brownie. Actually, all my snakes are breeding right now, so they're kind of all. As a matter of fact, at the end of this live, I'm going to switch my males to my females, so everyone's kind of in the breeding mood right now. KK reppin' Jersey, what's up? This is Keisha from Keys Constrictors. What's up? Elijah, my female ball python won't break 1,267 grams, even though she eats weekly and is 5 years old. I would say you could probably definitely increase the size of the rodents It sounds like maybe you're not feeding a big enough rodent to that one. Or you could try to feed twice a week. Feed once and then maybe the next day feed again. You could try that. Try to feed twice a week. I would probably not feed 2 rodents in one day. I try to avoid that myself here in my collection. If I'm feeding twice a week, I'll at least split it up between a day, between feedings. Aaron, is it dangerous to breed bell to bell? Nope. Oh, I can't think of any genetic defects in a blue-eyed leucistic. Even if you didn't know the genes, you could still breed a blue-eyed leucistic to a blue-eyed leucistic. You might not end up with all blue-eyed leucistics in some cases. So you could actually have something like a lesser mystic and breed it to like a Mojave lesser, and you'd end up with a mystic potion, which is the Mojave, and the mystic, which is kind of a purplish colored snake, which would be kind of interesting. If you breed lesser to lesser, you could get the bug eyes, sometimes the really big, almost like insect looking eyes. I'd say that's pretty much the only genetic defect is the big eyes. In some combinations, you'll actually get micro eyes with white snakes, but I can't think of any blue-eyed leucistics. I know the lesser pied sometimes will have really small eyes. All right, what should I breed with my female? Pastel, calico, spot nose, het, orange ghost. All right, pastel, pastels, I always like the super pastels. Calico goes good with bamboo, nothing like a bamboo calico. Spot nose goes good with leopard. You can do that. Orange ghost, het orange ghost. So one of my favorite ghost combinations is working dark genes in with a ghost. So you could do like a blackhead ghost or like a GHI ghost, and you'll end up with like a steel gray looking snake, which is an interesting effect on a Ball Python. So some options you can go with there. Jaden Smith, I want to get started breeding. I have a 4-year-old normal. What kind of a male should I get? Yeah, so what I would actually do, I would actually go over to Morphmarket. You can actually sort by the most genes, and you can actually look at the different prices over there. So I would get, the most genes you can and the best price that you can actually afford. A lot of times it comes down to your budget. And that's a good way to do it, is find if you could find like a 4-gene or a 5-gene male and breed it with a female, you get a whole rainbow of all the different combinations. Now, I'd probably stick with dominant and co-dominant. I'd probably stay away from like hets or recessives starting out in ball pythons. Let's see. Juan says, I hear you great. I'm trying to speak up a little. Now, some people say, as a matter of fact, if you look at my playbacks on my lives do have a lower volume than all my other videos. So it is definitely a reduced volume. One way to increase the volume, you can actually plug like external speakers into like a laptop and then crank it up that way. Let's see. Yoops Zoo, what's up? I'm having a hard time palpating for follicles. I absolutely cannot palpate for follicles either. I actually end up usually breaking out my ultrasound. And the only time I really do it is like right at the end of the year, just kind of checking my females as far as kind of like the cleanup right at the end of the year to see if any of them are going to lay. So essentially, once my first female ovulates, what I'll do is I'll go through and look at all my female tubs every single day, usually twice a day, to check for eggs. And then Usually after most of my females have laid eggs, I'll go back in with the ultrasound and kind of look, or I actually tried to palpate for follicles. I could not do it. I don't know. I even did the, crawling through the hand trick and everything. I just couldn't get the technique down. Shane, what's up? Got into ball pythons, not looking to breed, just as a pet. Nice. Looking to grab myself an albino. I absolutely love just a straight albino. Can't find any near, but there's an expo soon. I would say albinos are pretty popular. As a matter of fact, I actually just posted an albino on my website over on Morphmarket. So if you look, as a matter of fact, underneath every single video, I have the link to Morphmarket. That was an albino 100% het pied female that I have listed over on Morphmarket if you're interested in something like that. But with the het pied, you may pay a little bit more, especially if you're just looking for a pet. But she's a pretty cool, really high contrast albino. She looks really good. All right, show me outdoors. Thanks for sharing. Very interesting stuff. Yeah, it is pretty interesting, all the ball python stuff. We've been going for 1 hour, 40 minutes, 65 people on the live still. I think I'm going to go another 20 minutes, which will be 2 hours, which would be pretty cool. 83 thumbs up. Nice. All right, let's see. Retix King, what's up? Are you still planning on getting into the acid project? It seems to be getting better and better. What are your thoughts? So the acid is pretty much the same as the static gene, which is also the same as the confusion. A lot of people think that the acid, the static, and confusion are all the same gene. And essentially what it is, it's almost exactly like leopard. It's kind of like a leopard on steroids, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of dark like a leopard and really scrambles up the pattern, except it really explodes the pattern way more than the leopard will actually explode it. As a matter of fact, I've seen some people, well, they'll kind of advise against breeding any of those in with a leopard because a lot of times it's hard to tell the difference between the leopard in combinations versus the acid, the static, or the confusion in combinations. And there can be a huge price difference too. All right, Mike, I'm new into ball pythons, have a female who has hit 3 feet, and I think is skinny. So how large a rat do I have to feed her? Yeah, so 3 feet. I was trying to, I usually don't measure my ball pythons, so I'm trying to, I usually think about the grams and the age as far as kind of getting an idea for the ball pythons. But if you're trying to get weight back on that ball python, I would say usually you don't want to go thicker than the thickest part of the body. Usually if I'm trying to increase the size pretty quick, what I'll do is I'll go like maybe 3/4 the thickest size of the thickest part of the snake. And you can feed, you can do once a week, I would say. If you're feeding really big rodents, like the size of the ball python, the thickest size, like pretty much the biggest they can take, I would say pretty much once a week on something like that. If you're going a little bit smaller than that, you could probably go every 4 to 5 days as far as the maximum frequency trying to feed it. Let's see. So yeah, same size rodent, 10 to 15% of the snake's weight. Cliftus 420 has to go to bed. All right. Yeah, it is 8:43 here, so not too late here. Fill the fish. How long are your live streams and how often? They've just been totally random. I try to do a live stream once a week, but I really haven't been posting regular videos. So I'm just kind of, just keeping my channel alive, doing the live streams once a week. I'm thinking about kind of cutting back on the live streams and going more to the regular videos instead of the live streams. Let's see. Tony, what's up? Got an adult fire female, but I don't know what to pair with her out of my collection. What fire combos? Yeah, so with fire, you can actually work fire into pastel to make the firefly, or you can do the super pastel and make the superfly. Those are really cool combinations. And with the fireflies and superflies, a lot of times they'll keep a lot of their brightness as they age and mature. You can also do fire with pastel and work it into a xanthic and get some really amazing, really super clean axanthics that are really high contrast between the black and the white. Of course, with the fire, you can also do the super fires, breed fire to fire, get the all white snake. You can do fire in with pieds. That's an interesting combo. I actually have a fire pied male, which is pretty cool. Let's see. The most expensive gene I saw in Morphmarket is the Skittles morph. Yeah, so technically Skittles. I'm pretty sure that Skittles is actually it's actually a chimera, which is kind of where two eggs combine. It's like two sets of DNA converge into one individual. So I've actually seen some animals like that where they'll actually have different DNA on each side of the body where it's two individuals that come together. So I don't actually think you could reproduce Skittles because it's a chimera. Some of those chimeras actually aren't fertile and you can't breed them, which is kind of interesting. All right, Shane, let's see. Can I chill with my new snake the way you chill with Bobby? Takes a long time to get a snake to chill like Bobby. Yeah, well, I was doing like videos every single day for like 3 years with Bobby around my neck. In the first, I'd say 3 or 4 months, he was choking me out quite a bit until he kind of calmed down. But now he just kind of sleeps. I'm doing my live stream. Yeah, Skittles is actually a combination of a bunch of different genes. So it's not just one gene. And it's a chimera, I believe. Let's see. Lucas picked up my first ball python that makes 4 reptiles. Nice. Yeah, my crested geckos are actually reproducing quite a bit. I actually went up there the other day. I think I have 6 crested geckos now, which is pretty amazing. I just started with 2 in a really big bioactive enclosure, and I just keep seeing more and more babies just randomly pop up. I actually have a super Dalmatian and a pinstripe, so I'm actually getting some pinstripe Dalmatians in my crested geckos, which is pretty cool. Matt, did Bobby fall asleep? Bobby is asleep. Let's see. She is 10 months. Let's see. Do I have an email? No. No. I don't have email. I started Facebook. The problem is I have so many people that want to get in touch with me. I actually started Facebook, and within 2 weeks, I maxed out the 5,000 followers over on Facebook. It was unbelievable. I get so many comments over on my YouTube channel. So probably the best thing, if you need help identifying a hatchling, what you can actually do is post, upload a video somewhere. If you have a website, you can like, or even like on Facebook or something like that, then actually take a link to that and then put it underneath one of my videos in the comments section. and say, hey, can you identify this hatchling? And I'll actually approve it because I have to approve all the links, and then it'll go underneath the video, and then everybody can chime in and give you some suggestions as far as identifying the hatchling. But you know, pretty much in the comment section under my videos, I think you get the most traction. I think it's a bamboo, calico, possible pastel. So yeah, so keep in mind with the bamboo calicos, a lot of times you don't get a lot of high white coming in on the bamboo calico until it ages a bit. And if you actually have pastel with the bamboo, a lot of times you won't see the pastel until probably at least 3 months till you really see the yellowing coming in on the pastel bamboos. So I'd say wait 3 months, and then you'll probably know for sure if it actually has the calico and the pastel in it. Chester, what's up? Have you considered getting into boa constrictors or other snakes? I actually started with everything except ball pythons when I first started. I had like 20 snakes, and none of them were ball pythons, and I eventually transitioned over pretty much everything except my retics over to ball pythons. At some point, I may pick up a boa constrictor, maybe a female, and just kind of sit on it as it grows. Maybe. But other than that, pretty much all ball pythons. All right, 150, 10 more minutes, and we'll be at the 2-hour mark. I think I'm going to end it there. Just a little lower on your lives, but not too bad. Yeah, so yeah, the volume on my lives, you definitely have to crank it up. I don't think I can actually adjust it on my phone. I don't know. I'm actually live streaming through my phone. I don't think I have many options as far as the volume. Do I ship to Canada? I actually got a quote on shipping to Canada. It was like $650, $700. So I don't have any snakes that are like really high end that I could actually, it would be worth it to ship them. Vinny Bob, what's up? Do you recommend a ball python for a second snake? Oh, would you recommend a ball python? Yes. I would definitely go with the ball python. Of course, my whole channel is all ball pythons. I'm kind of biased against for ball pythons. All right, 5,004 worth. What's up? If you breed 2 males to a female, could the clutch have a mixed babies from both males or be all from one? Yeah, so I've actually seen people do that. Well, they'll, as a matter of fact, I'm thinking about doing it this year, like at the very end of the year, take a really good breeder, like one of my bamboos that I know always breeds with everything, and then go through and just kind of follow up with that male through all my females, just as kind of like a cleanup to make sure all my females get fertilized. And what you'll actually get, sometimes I've actually seen where some of the eggs will be fertilized from one male, some are fertilized from another male, and in some cases, all of them will be fertilized from one male. And as far as I understand it, I don't think you can get one egg that would be fertilized from 2 males. So you can have one snake with the genes from multiple males. I think it's either one male or the other. As far as I know, I haven't actually seen anyone do that where you get multiple genes from different males in the same offspring. Lucy P, what's up? Hey Chris, not sure who had the surprise mystery clutch for my G-stripe. They popped out and are all axanthic spiders and axanthic spider enchies. Well, that's interesting. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, so sometimes you can get random stuff popping out, especially if you bought a snake from someone that's maybe already bred to something else. That's kind of crazy, though. Let's see. Brandon, did you say Bobby is a bamboo? Yes. So this snake around my neck, just one bamboo gene, nothing else in Bobby. All right, 6 minutes left. 71 people on the live. All right, we're coming up on 9 o'clock. All right, David, wanted to ask about my 2 ball pythons. I've been pairing them for 3 weeks. I've only seen them lock once. This is the first time breeding. So is there anything I should do? No. So I don't even look for locks on my males and my females anymore. So I'd say most of the time you're not going to see a lock, because sometimes they'll just lock for like an hour and then they'll separate. And unless you're actually always checking on them, like, or putting a camera on them and checking for a lock, I'd say most of the times you're not going to see a lock. Hey, we got another super chat. JRR. All right, what should I use as a heating source? I'm moving from California to Georgia driving. California to Georgia. Yeah, so I would say if you do it in one go, in one trip, you can just keep your car at a little bit warmer of a temperature. I think you'd be fine. If you're staying in a hotel overnight, I would probably figure something out as far as the heating. What I would actually do is buy like a heat mat, and and then have like an external thermostat and put it on there, and just keep them in like totes or containers or something like that, and put it right on a temperature controlled heat mat as far as the trip. So as a matter of fact, when I'm actually selling at a reptile show, what I'll actually do, I'd say probably 99% of the people don't have heat with their snakes at a reptile show. And some of those reptile shows are really cold. And what I'll actually do is just buy I'll actually go to Reptile Basics, and you can get the heat strip cut to size. You can get the cords put right on them. Then you can just plug them right into a temperature controller. And I actually put heat strips underneath all my snakes at the reptile show, so they have heat all weekend. That's probably what I do for an extended period of time, even just, moving them like that. But I'd say in your car, just driving, they're probably fine. Depending on how hot it is in your car, if you like to keep the windows open in a cold day, you might need some heat. All right, let's see, Jake. Wait a minute. Did we miss something there? No, we got it. Oh, I'm coming up to look at that. I'm catching up on the questions. I'm only like 10 behind. All right, 65 people still on. 3 minutes left. I'll try to scan. How do I know when my female is ready to start pairing? I just start pairing October the 15th. I start putting my males with my females. You just pick up the male, put it in the tub with the female, and it's as easy as that. So you just have to make sure your male is preferably 2 years old or older. Make sure your females are at least 1,500 grams or more. Let's see. Recently got an ultra male and a pastel yellow belly ultra male. How can I work other genes into this project? Do I have to buy more ultra male combos? So no. What you can do is you can actually take your ultra male and then breed it to pretty much anything. Then you'll get het ultra males with other genes in there, and then you want to hold those back, and then take the hets, multiple genes, and then breed it back into your ultra males. That's how you can do it. So it's actually good that you have the visual male and the visual female. That way, if you get multiple genes and it's either a male or a female, you can breed it into your project, which would move it along quicker. Tried to super chat, but it wouldn't let you. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. All right. So yeah, so I haven't had that in a long time where someone said they tried to super chat, but Sometimes I'd actually go into tech support and I'd tell YouTube that the super chats for certain people isn't working. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Looks like a queen bee. Yes, he kind of does look like a queen bee a little bit with the lesser and the spider. I think the queen bee has the pastel in it too. Looks, yeah, the queen bee. It's kind of interesting. It almost looks axanthic with those genes. The lesser and the spider combinations give you kind of almost like an axanthic kind of a look. Yes, I do still have my reticulated pythons, trying to breed them this year. Let's see. 159. Wow. All right. So let me look at. All right. So I'm going to moon over Miami. What's up? Joining at the end. Nice turtleneck. Super chats depend on the country they're from. Interesting. So I've had super chats from all around the world in multiple different currencies. Haven't really had a problem. Let's see. What would I breed with a pastel butter or a vanilla cream? Yeah, vanilla cream is vanilla and fire. Vanilla creams. As a matter of fact, I'd probably work other genes into the vanilla cream. What you can actually do with the vanilla cream is breed it to a vanilla and make some super vanillas and more vanilla creams, working other genes into it. That's probably what I would do. I haven't eaten since they hatched. They hatched on the 3rd. When should I assist feed? Hatched on the 3rd. So it's been a couple weeks. What I would actually do with that is I would take a live mouse hopper, put it in with that hatchling, and leave it in there overnight. I'd say 99% of the time you get that hatchling to eat a live mouse hopper if you leave it in overnight. And so far, I've actually done that quite a few times. I don't think there's any risk of a mouse hopper actually hurting a hatchling ball python. So I think you're safe there. What's the best gene to start out with? I would start with the bamboo, like Bobby around my neck. You can start with anything. So depends on your budget, depends what appeals to you. Some people do dark genes, some people do lighter genes. Let's see. Is frog moss okay? I've never actually used frog moss in with the ball python. How big should my ball python get before I transfer him to a bigger tank? So usually what I do in these tubs, if the ball python's coiled up around the hotspot and starting to get close to either side of the enclosure coiled up, I'll actually move them over to a bigger enclosure. Let's see. All right. We're at 2:02. All right, I'm going to call it. It is 9 o'clock here on a Tuesday. Just kind of random on a Tuesday. So, all right, guys. Still at 50 on the live, which is pretty good for Tuesday. 100 thumbs ups. And we got some super chats. Lots of questions. Thank you for all the questions. I kind of skimmed over. I think I missed some at the end. I think I hit most of the questions over the 2 hours. All right, so I'm not sure when I'm going to do another live. I think I'm going to go more towards doing the daily videos again, which would be kind of interesting. I haven't done the regular daily videos for a while. So my next video that I'm going to do, I'm kind of starting up on this, is it's kind of interesting. It's actually how to figure out the genes in ball pythons with the shed of the skin, which is going to be my next video, which is, it's pretty fascinating, the progress they've made on that, figuring out the genes from using the DNA in a snake shed, which is pretty wild. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks for coming along. I'm going to end it here. Thanks for all the comments and the super chats, and I will see you in the next